You ever notice how sometimes the closer you get to something you actually want, the more you start to pull away from it? Like you've been craving love, and the second someone starts loving you, really loving you, you start getting weird. You overthink. You get distant. You pick fights over nothing. Or maybe you've been dreaming about a goal for years, and when it finally starts working out, you suddenly feel terrified. Like you don't even deserve it. Yeah, that's self-sabotage. And it's wild how often we do it, not because we hate ourselves, but because we don't know how to handle what we ask for. It's the paradox of desire. We chase what we think will make us feel whole, but when we finally get close, we panic. Because having it means risking losing it. And sometimes it's safer to want something than to actually have it. Our brains love the fantasy. The fantasy is perfect. It never disappoints. But reality means vulnerability, imperfection, work. So we end up addicted to longing. We confuse desire with identity. We spend our lives wanting, but never allowing ourselves to receive. I used to think sabotage was about fear of failure. But the older I get, the more I realize it's also fear of success. Because success changes you. Love changes you. Healing changes you. And part of you, the part that's comfortable in chaos, doesn't want to change. There's this quiet, painful truth. We cling to pain that feels familiar because peace feels foreign. And anything unfamiliar feels dangerous, even if it's good. You ever meet someone who says, "I just attract toxic people"? No, you don't attract them, you accept them. Because deep down, chaos feels normal. Love that doesn't hurt feels suspicious. Peace feels boring. And that's how the cycle repeats. We sabotage not because we want to fail, but because safety feels scary when you've lived in survival mode for too long. There's this quote by Rumi that says, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." That's it right there. We think we're searching for love, success, happiness, but really we're just bumping into our own walls. Every time something good enters your life and you pull away, it's not rejection, it's protection. A younger version of you is whispering, "Good things don't last. Don't trust this." But that voice, it's outdated software. It kept you safe back then, but now it's holding you back. I remember when I first started to feel actual peace after a rough season in my life. And it was uncomfortable. Like I didn't even know how to handle it. I kept waiting for something bad to happen. Like calm was just a silence before another storm. And I realized I had gotten so used to chaos that I didn't know how to exist without it. That's what sabotage feels like. It's not logical, it's emotional muscle memory. Think about relationships. When someone finally treats you right, you might start testing them. You push their buttons, you question their intentions, not because you want to hurt them, but because you want to see if they'll stay when it's not easy. Or maybe you ghost them. You tell yourself, "I just need space," but what you're really meaning is, "I'm scared to be seen this deeply." Because being loved without earning it, that's terrifying when all you've known is conditional love. And it's not just love. We sabotage jobs, friendships, routines, creative dreams. We start something meaningful, and the second it gains momentum, we find reasons to stop. We procrastinate, we self-criticize, we distract ourselves. You ever notice how your brain gets loudest right before a breakthrough? Like everything starts going well, and suddenly you feel tired, overwhelmed, anxious. That's resistance. That's your ego trying to keep you in the comfort zone. Desire is easy. Receiving is hard. Because receiving means opening your hands. And to open your hands, you have to let go of control. And control is our favorite illusion. We control to avoid pain. We control to predict outcomes. But the truth, the things that make life beautiful, love, art, connection, purpose, they only exist when you let go. I think part of us is afraid of joy because joy demands surrender. You can't half feel it. You can't intellectualize it. You have to be present for it. And presence feels risky when you've learned that nothing lasts. But here's the truth. The things you love aren't meant to be controlled. They're meant to be experienced. And if you keep trying to protect yourself from the pain of losing them, you'll never actually get to feel them. I remember talking to someone who said they self-sabotage every time a project of theirs starts doing well. They said, it's like I start finding reasons to quit. I'll convince myself it's not good enough or that I'm faking it. And I told them that's your brain protecting your old identity. Because success requires a new version of you, and the old version doesn't want to die. Growth always feels like loss at first. You have to grieve the person who survived on doubt and struggle. That person kept you alive, but they can't take you where you're going next. Sometimes sabotage shows up as perfectionism. You spend so long trying to make something perfect that it never sees the day of light. And then you tell yourself, it's just not ready yet. But deep down, you're scared it'll never be good enough. But perfectionism is just fear of judgment, dressed up like ambition. It's not excellence, it's avoidance. Because as long as you're working on it, you never have to risk someone not liking it. Other times, sabotage shows up as distraction. You start scrolling, snacking, over-planning, anything to avoid feeling. Because deep down, you know if you slow down, you'll have to face what's really going on. The human brain will do anything to avoid discomfort, even if that discomfort is what leads to peace. And here's something deep. Sabotage is sometimes a sign you're about to level up, because your subconscious doesn't fight change that doesn't matter. It only resists what threatens the version of you that's been in control for too long. So when you catch yourself spiraling and pulling back, procrastinating, pause. That's not proof you're failing, that's proof you're expanding. You know what's funny? We pray for love, then run when it shows up. We say we want peace, then fill our lives with noise. We say we want success, then convince ourselves we're not ready. And maybe that's the paradox of desire, that wanting something is easier than allowing it to change you. Because everything you love will change you, and change always costs something. But the cost of resisting it, that's your life, slowly passing while you stay safe. There's a line by Carl Jung that says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate. That's what sabotage is. Unconscious patterns ruling your life, and the second you name them, they lose power. You can't heal what you won't look at, and you can't receive what you keep running from. So what do you do about it? You start small. You notice when you flinch at something good. You pause before pushing it away. You say, I see you fear, but we're doing this anyway. You let love in even when it feels foreign. You let calm in even when it feels suspicious. You let joy in even when it makes you cry. Because that's what healing looks like. Not absence of fear, but action despite it. I once knew someone who told me they finally realized they weren't afraid of failing. They're afraid of things working out. Because if it worked out, they'd have to stop telling themselves the story that they're broken. And that story had become their home. That one hit me hard. Because sometimes the hardest part of healing is leaving behind the identity you built around your pain. But you deserve more than survival stories. You deserve peace without having to earn it. You deserve joy without apology. You deserve to have what you love and not ruin it just because you're scared it might leave. When you catch yourself sabotaging, don't shame yourself. That's just your brain trying to protect you from old wounds. Say thank you and then remind it that you're safe now. Because safety isn't the absence of risk.
It's the belief that you can handle what comes next. You can handle joy, you can handle success, you can handle love, and you don't need to push it away anymore. If you ever felt like you ruined good things without meaning to, I hope this makes you feel seen. You're not broken, you're just learning how to exist without fear. And if this hit home for you, drop a comment below. Tell me what part of your life you've been sabotaging, or what you're ready to finally stop running from. I read every single one. If this video made you think or gave you that weird ache of recognition, hit that like button. It helps way more than you think. And if you want more deep talks like this one, subscribe. We're building a space here for people who think too deeply, feel too much, and want to grow anyway. You can also catch more of my smaller reflections and random thoughts on my socials. Everything's in the description. Thanks for watching till the end.